How's it? We are creating shadow collages, and we're just going to cut out a shadow first. So what you're going to do is open up Photoshop, and you want to take the image, not a screenshot, but an image, okay? And you want to drag that into Photoshop, and should have it open up like this. And then we're going to cut him out. So what you're going to do, and Photoshop is a cool program. So let me just give you a quick rundown. So in Window, you can arrange tiles horizontally and vertically, so you can have these tabs. So if you ever need to know about that, you can consolidate all the tabs. You can also, if your windows get all messed up on the sides, these are windows and your tools, you can go to Workspace, and then you can change it to some photography editing. You have some different adjustments on the side. But I'm going to keep it with Essentials. So what I'm going to do is go to the Lasso tool, okay, and that's a shortcut L. If you hold down Lasso tool, you'll see we have some different options. Lasso tool will let you freely select something wherever you want, but you also have to close it. So wherever you opened it, where you started, you have to go to the ending and close it, and then notice it's selection here. And then you're able to cut that out like so. But we need not that part of it. We need his whole body. If you hit Command D, that's deselect, Command D. There's also a polygonal lasso tool, okay, and this one lets you you can create shapes, okay, with your selection tool, okay. But that one isn't relevant right now. Instead, we're going to hold on, select magnetic lasso tool. And with the magnetic lasso tool, we're basically going to come around and just roll over your mouse. And if you make a mistake, so let's say you come out here and you make a mistake, you can hit backspace, okay? Backspace, 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 okay? And if you're not sure if you got it correct, you can hit Command plus to zoom in. Notice here I got some of his eye wrong, so I'm gonna come in here. If it doesn't magnetic it, you can click it and click it and click it and force it. So I'm gonna force it a little bit. It doesn't be perfect. We can brush it up later. We just need something similar. And Command minus will zoom it back out. If you hold on the space button, you can drag it up, right? And then I'm back to lassoing. I'm going to click, click, kind of to force, because white on white is a little bit harder for it to focus on. At the bottom, I'm going to click and then just click on and click, 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 click. That bottom doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm going to drag it up. And again, I'm going to click, make sure it gets that click. Drag it up, spacebar, drag it down, and close it. Now that we have them cut out, we're going to hit Command C, and I'm going to hit Command N as in Nancy, and we're going to create, yours may look a little bit different, but if you go to Page, and then US paper, you'll see US paper, or international paper, and we'll do A4, and vertical, and hit Command V, and we're going to paste in there. Hit V as in Victor, and then you can select it, tool, and hit Command T and transform. Hold on the shift key, and you can kind of shift them around like so. There we go. So now what we have to do is find out where, hit enter, make sure if you see that lines around it, you have to hit enter to place it, okay? Now we need to select it again because you have to fill the colors back in the background and the foreground. So we're going to go back to, we're going to click on W and Magic Wand tool, and if you select the white area, notice it, the little they're called marching ants, little lines that are flickering. Hit Command Shift I. That's to invert the selection. So it was selecting all the white. and we inverted selection. Now it's just the face is selected. So once that is selected, we can hit right here in our layers. And again, if you don't see it, you can go window layers. And we're going to use the function fx, and you're going to choose color overlay. And then it really doesn't matter the color because we're going to be filling it up with stuff anyway, like pictures and stuff. So we're going to hit OK like that. And then what you're going to do is hit Command D to deselect. Okay. And then with our backgrounds, our background layer is locked. I'm going to double click that and just call this background. And hit OK. Notice that lock symbol has disappeared now. We're going to go to Edit, Fill, and we're going to choose a fill color and try to contrasting colors. And don't choose a dark color. It's actually not that good to do a dark color. Let's see. Let's choose a lighter color like that. There we go. And your shadow can be a dark color though. You can just select. And by the way, if you try to select your shadow and then let's say you hit delete, notice that's the background layer. If you want to select your person, yourself, you need to select that layer, okay, and then select this wand, and you'll notice that's selected. Hit Command D to deselect. Now, if you notice, you might want to smoothen out your outline. So hit E for eraser, okay, or right over here, E for eraser. And what I'm going to do is left bracket and right bracket. It's right next to the P on the keyboard. And then here is your brush. Okay, you can also control the size here. And the hardness, we're going to make it very hard. What that means is if you like delete something, notice how it's a hard erase. If it's something soft, notice it just feathers it away. If you feather it away, it's not going to be very distinct. Remember, undo is Command Z. To keep undoing, Command Option Z. And then just keep hitting Z. Like hold on Command Option and hit Z, 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 Z. So I'm going to go around and make sure my hardness is there. And then I'm going to just go around and smoothen it out. Again, spacebar. You can get that. And smooth it out. Oh, too much. Undo. Okay, and it just hair can be a problem. You definitely want the hair to look more realistic. Smoothing out the nose. Okay, and I mean the hair that looks realistic, but if it's like a couple crazy stuff, you might want to fix that. Okay, so what you're gonna do, hit V as in Victor, and then you're gonna move it. You want a little bit of headroom. We're going to be putting the name like right here. So this looks about right, okay? And you want a little bit of space like here and here. And then we're going to hit a new layer. And T for text, T on the keyboard. And you're going to put the name, okay? So I'll just put first, last, okay? And if you hit Command T, as in Tom, you can rotate it if you look on the edge right here. And then if you hold on the Shift key, you can like make it smaller, and you can put it like that. Now I think my font is a little bit too big, and I don't like this font because it's a little bit too high vertically. So you can either download a font or use one of your fonts that you have, and you can see the preview that it has right there. So and if you want to change the text size, right now it's 158. You know, you can change it like this, or you can even type in a number. So let's say you want 101, and then that's good, and like that. Now what we're going to do is, and you don't want to get too close to the edge, like you don't want to cut off the edge. You want it to be a very similar and for the margin. So with the text, we're going to make sure the text layer is selected, hit F of X, and we're going to hit drop shadow. Okay, and then in our drop shadow, you can choose the color that you want to use, and then you can choose the distance. So notice my distance can change. You don't want something too crazy, right? You can do the spread is how thick it is. So notice it adds a little bit of depth, and you can also do the size. Don't get too crazy on the size. I think that looks about right. So I'm going to use that. You can also use the angle in terms of if the shadow is on the top, right? This is where this pretend it's like the sun shining down, and then you can put okay. In the future, we're going to be doing like strokes. Like if you hit stroke, you can see you can put a stroke on it, but I'm not, so I'm going to unselect that. There's also bevel. Okay, you can put like textures and contours, so it looks has a little bit of bevel to it, but we're not going to use that today. Okay, so we have our first and last name, we have a little bit of margin, we have the person's here. Really looks good. And then when you save it, okay, file save as, and call this shadow, and then first and last name, like your first and last name. Save in your Google Drive and hit save, okay, and then also save as JPEG. Okay, so file, save as JPEG, and then you're done with this part.